making a garden video, and it is loud here, but there's nothing I can do about it. But I still don't want to talk real loud to counteract that traffic out there. But anyway, I found a nice garden niche here, an ivy cove sort of thing. Very, very nice. It's like a seat in the ivy. It's wonderful. So I was talking about the puppy dogs waiting for people in the cars, and I'm always making sure that their windows are partly down. This is very, very important, okay, that we always check on this. All of us, everyone has that responsibility to do that. And if you can, also check on whether the dog is taken care of, and has food and water and company, and whether the dog is waiting in the car too long. And sometimes that happens too. I have often many times where I've gone into the store and to the customer service, and I had them announce the vehicle and the license plate and asked the owner of the car to come back to the car to take care of his dog and to give the dog water and company and so on, and food, and go to the bathroom and make pee-pee and poo-poo and all of these things. Very, very important to take care of your animals. They are animals like you. You are an animal, they are an animal, they are persons, you are a person. You're a person, they are persons. Okay? So that's how it works. Animals are persons and humans are animals, and we are all animals and persons at the same time. It's very important that people understand this. Your animals are your children, and you have to take care of them. So it's always heavy on my chest, extremely heavy, and I suffer with this all day long, and I want to help, I want to educate people, I want to make the world a better place, and I don't even know where to start with this. So I start with making these videos here. These things here, they are razor sharp. But I love them anyway. They make really nice brooms here. Take a look at these amazing brooms. Beautiful, yes. And they're tall. They're like, I think they can get up to like 15 feet tall or something. So if you have tall ceilings, you can cut them at the foot, and you can use those to broom out the entire ceiling and to get all the spider webs out. It's very good. It's very, very beneficial. So some people don't like them. I don't understand why. So I think they're wonderful. We have them at the other house as well, and they get the seeds. These are actually seeds that are hanging on those on those amazing cotton type of fibers, and you could make amazing clothes out of this. I just don't have a spindle. I don't know how to do this, but if you have a spindle, you can actually make clothes out of that, and that would be an amazing resource for people to use. I don't know if this is already being used to make clothing fiber out of, or for something else, for curtains or something. So yeah, anyway, it's nice here. It's really nice. So I poked around in my face and I did a face mask, so probably looks kind of weird. But yeah, I just told Paul that aging sucks. It is not fun. Okay, it really isn't fun. But that's more reason even for us to make fun of it, or fun out of it, or use it to make life more fun. Like I said in my video the power of being ugly on my other channel. You know, I have two channels, Nikki Loves Dogs and Kenny Redwood, Animal Lover Support Group. And this tablet here uploads to Kenny Redwood, the other tablet to the other channel. So when we're going here, I have my orange tablet with me because this one has Jiddu Krishnamurti recordings on it, and the other one I wasn't able to do this. And the other one I had Kindle, and it got all updated, and all of these features got updated out, including uploading from YouTube, you know, recordings. And it's very sad. I have to figure out how to maybe somehow get that anyway. I don't know, but whatever. It's all about greed. They could put it on, but they don't want to because they want you to pay for music and all of these things. So they want you to buy another tablet that has Google Play Store on it. They could put it on the old ones, but no, they updated it out. That's how they make money. They take things from people. They steal. That's how they do it. This is very disappointing. That's awful. Yeah, it is very awful. But that's how it is. You know, we have to put up with it. We don't have leverage over this, you know, because most of us are not the computer experts and the programming experts. There are very few people who are programming experts, and they can bypass any of these greedy type of under programs and sub programs of sub programs, so they can just cut right through. The hackers can, but I can't do that. And well, I don't want to do it either. I don't want to do anything that is not legal, so I wouldn't want to do something that's not legal. But what the companies are doing isn't legal either. It isn't. Even if they make it legal, then it is we have a system that in itself is not illegal. It's not very legal, because if they make a legal system that is corrupt, then it's not legal either. So none of this is really legal if we want to say legal in terms of ethics. So it's all not easy. Okay, and that brings me to the subject that I also wanted to address yesterday, but Paul came back. I had to cut the video short. So what I wanted to say, there was a lady sitting in the car in front of me, and I had been eyeballing her car because she has a very sweet little puppy dog sitting there. But then I saw the window was this much open. That was good. And she came back. Then she went into another store, and then she came back, and then she sat there with her puppy dog, and she was very sweet with him, an older lady, and she was doing something on her tablet, I think. So, and she was sitting there for a while. That's why I had to kind of like do that perspective, and I had to talk like under my breath, so because I didn't want her to hear me talk about her or any of these things, because then she might misunderstand it and think that I am talking about her or something. So, but the video turned out amazing, because what happened was Star Trek Enterprise came again from left to right. Da, 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 da. Star Trek Enterprise. You can see it in the other video. It's very amazing. A red cloud of LED illumination with a starship from another dimension. So that's also, I'm gonna give that the title. I'm gonna call it the other dimensional spaceship is came back. That's how I'm gonna call it, that's good. The other dimensional spaceship came back because it came before. It had visited me before in photos that I also took in the van, and also when the sun was about at the same height, descending down. Spaceship came and showed itself in the photo. So this is what happens. I have the camera in a specific angle with the camera eye shining at me, but then the light from the sun beams, they just barely hit the margin of that camera, and then it brings out laser beams, an amazing glitter, and red glowing dust, and that amazing I don't want to say outer dimensional, because everything is dimensional. All the dimensions are here at the same time. So the other dimensional spaceship showing itself through this pattern. Basically, it's a pattern, but I believe that other dimensions are showing themselves in such what other people would call random patterns. Okay, maybe random patterns of sunbeams hitting the camera lens, or in a specific angle, or something like this. But none of this is coincidental. Okay, there's that works together in form of a conduit, in order, that is the other dimensional's conduit to show itself in this dimension. I don't know if this makes any sense. My husband is going to vehemently discredit what I'm saying. He would get very angry if he listened to this. But we had a conversation earlier today. I had to walk away finally because it gets louder and louder and louder. This is all bullshit for him. It doesn't exist. There's only this and nothing else. I disagree. Okay, obviously there's a heck of a lot more happening around us and in our brains, and if we tune in and tap in and focus and concentrate and relax, that's the key to concentration. If we're not relaxed, we cannot concentrate. If we have fear, we cannot concentrate on anything. That's why school children, when they have fear, when they're afraid of the teacher, their brains go into a blank. They go into a blackout. That's what happened to me as a child. And that's what's happening. Okay, that's why we need a school reform. Okay, talk to Paul about all of these things. This is constantly on my mind. We need a school reform. We need a complete healthcare reform, but not just in terms of universal insurance. That is like a single payer for the whole world, but in terms of people learning to take care of themselves, and in terms of self-help groups that teach people to take care of themselves, in terms of installing schools for everyone for free that are taxpayer paid, and that teach people to take care of themselves. Can you imagine the enormous, the trillions of dollars that go into people having a scratch, going to the emergency room, or having a cough, and they're lonely, so they go into the emergency room, and all of the enormous costs and of people who become alcoholics because they're lonely, and then the health care costs that fall onto the government because of this. And I mean, it's not the individual people's fault. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm not shaming it, particularly not. This is always easily misunderstood. I understand people. I understand that they go to the doctor, or they even want to go to the doctor because they're in so much despair. They don't know what to do. Okay? There's so much despair, they may not even be aware of it consciously. most of these things are not conscious in people. They don't know what they're doing. They grab the alcohol, they don't even know why, because there's pain, but they're not aware of it. They grab the chocolate, they don't know why, because they're in pain. Most people are in pain, okay? Aging white women are committing suicide. So this is a statistical fact. I'm not making this up. This is not a racist type of thing. This is happening, actually. Hillary Clinton wanted to address this. This is very serious. I see it myself on the internet. I see myself, I see my own shit cooking there, the pain, the agony over aging, the agony over the loneliness. I mean, I'm not even that lonely. I have a husband. I have a life partner who I can hang out with, So I have a dog. I have a family. So I'm looking at these people that don't even have that. There are women they're still living with their husbands, and their husbands have a 30-year-old girlfriend. And they're still living with them and have to put up with that unbearable pain. Can you imagine that pain? Can you imagine you're 70 years old or something, 60 or 70, and your husband, who's the same age as you are, got bored with you, with your wrinkles, and you're no longer zesty for him. So yeah, he takes the zesty 30-year-old, and she moves in there with you. You're still living there, and you hear them, and hear them having fun, and you sit there, and it is painful, and it is excruciating. Yes, yeah, I understand. I understand why people don't want to hang out in this world, in this existence anymore. I understand. Yeah. And particularly, when they're older, they don't know where to go. What chances do they have if they left him, if they left that house, that living situation? And then some of them say they're okay. They call themselves progressive. They say they're okay with an open relationship. Wait a minute, honey. Not if they're doing it in your own house, in your vicinity. I would be okay with an open relationship, but not if my husband would be having fun with a gorgeous woman in my house, and I'm sitting there feeling like the old witch who is lonely, no one ever interested anymore in this the old hag. Yeah, so old hag is lonely. It's just so awful, is that, it's like I want to go over there and say, old hag, come here in my arms, I give you a hug. When a human gets old, she or he, they want to be hugged too. This is a real big subject for me. This is a very, very, this is so painful, and it hits so hard into the old pain from childhood. And that's the case for all of us, It really is. It's the case for all of us. So anyway, I watched this older lady also alone with her dog, and I felt like going over there and introducing myself, but that would be extremely awkward. She wouldn't understand why I am introducing myself, what the point, and what, nowadays people are scam artists. She would be thinking, who are you and what do you want? And that would be extremely weird, and she wouldn't trust me. So we don't even have a situation anymore where we can actually go towards each other and say, hey, I see your pain. Can you imagine if I said that to her? I I see your pain, I see you're lonely, she'd be real scared and would drive away real quickly. She'll be thinking that I'm some kind of fortune teller or a witch, or I don't know. You know, most people are religious. That's on top of it. That makes it even more problematic. You know, that pushes people even more into segregation and into shying away from each other, into fear of other people, into fear of people who talk differently. You know, I see this whole thing. I see this incredible tragedy happening. You know. One time I had the PETA t-shirt on. I talked about this in one of my videos, also here at this house. Yeah, PETA t-shirt. Right there, you have PETA t-shirt on. People want nothing to do with you. They don't want anything to do with someone who's affiliated with PETA, because they hear on their right-wing corporate paid talk radio the PETA slander, so they believe it. They fall for it completely, 100%. And it's all, you know, all of this really makes communication so difficult. And if, you know, if I went over to this one lady that told me that I can't pet her dog because of my PETA t-shirt, if I told her that entire thing about Richard Berman, it would take me first of all an hour to explain all of this, and then she would not believe it. She'd probably call me a commie and a libtard or a Democrat rat, or whatever they call people that are different to them. Or she'd call me gay or tranny, or I mean, there's no telling what she will call me, you know, because she wants to stay with the right-wing radio host and that community. That's her community. She's not going to let go of the community. There's all of her emotions are invested into it. So how do we communicate with each other? How do we even communicate? How do we even get together and talk things through if no one is open for it anymore? If people have ducked away into their safe dungeons, as I call them, you know, their enclaves, dungeon enclaves, enclave dungeons. That's more accurate. Okay, the religion is the enclave, their community is the enclave, cut away from the other societies, so that they're like hermetically closed away from other people and don't learn anything and stay indoctrinated in their religion. That's what the religions want, of course. All the religions want that from their followers. They don't want them to mingle with other people because they want them to stay closed-minded. They want them to stay cut off from knowledge, from truth, and from computing, from putting A and B together. So they don't want people to do this. So they want to keep them. They make money on that too. You know, religion is a business. People need to know that. This is all extremely corrupt. Okay, it has nothing to do with love or truth or companionship or friendships in general. It makes me very sad. The sky has amazing formations. Looks almost like a big, huge, ginormous planet is coming close to us, and there are gray clouds shooting off from it. It's very nice. So yeah, so what I was thinking about that lady yesterday afternoon, and I wanted to help. I wanted to say, here's my card, you can email me and we can talk, but she would never do this. She'd be too afraid. There's no docking points at all anymore. It's just, it has developed its way too far out, you know. I would have to have a specific reason to contact her. I wouldn't know what I would use as a specific reason. I would really like to tell her the truth. I'd like to say, I see your loneliness and your despair and the fear also. The fear of loneliness and fear of the future. How is this gonna continue on, you know? How are we gonna make it? Most people are terrified of committing suicide. It is a terrifying thing. It is absolutely terrifying, particularly if you're on your own. That's why euthanasia is so important. We need to have euthanasia for everyone. They have to, of course they have to ask. They have to ask these people, they have to do consultations with them. They have to go through at least a week of daily conversations, because what if it's someone who's just heartbroken and at the end of the week after the consultations she decides, oh, I'll give it another try, maybe I'll find another boyfriend, or you know, these kind of things, particularly when they are young, so they still have something to live for and to enjoy. But you know, when a woman gets 60 or 70, things get pretty grim. Bad health comes in and they can't find a partner anymore, or if they have a partner, it's often a miserable partnership, or the husband has a new girlfriend, or they just barely tolerate each other, they live kind of past each other, and things get very rough often in most people. The old pain will come up eventually. The old pain that they have tried to cover up their whole lives, it will eventually surface because of the situation. So nothing has been dealt with. There's no self-humor involved. Ego has a stronghold over everything. They're taking themselves very seriously because that's what they cling to, that's what they hang on to. But all of this comes into a shaky situation where this starts shaking and wobbling, you know, where the ego isn't so anchored in anymore. It isn't such a rock solid foundation after all. You know, all of these self constructions, you know, of I am whatever, you know, I am a doctor, or I am bodybuilder, or I am a beauty queen, or it all comes crumbling down. It all does. And if the entire life has been sitting on that foundation, it won't be a foundation for very long. It will come crumbling down. I want to help with this, you know. I mean, I don't cling to life, but I don't know if I could commit suicide eventually. I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I have. I've tried it twice. It was awful. Boy, it was awful and frightening. So that can also deter someone from trying that again. Yeah. So, and that's why we have to have euthanasia for people. We have to assisted death, assisted dying for everyone. You know, like Holland is now the absolute most progressive country in this regard. So they are offering this. There was a woman, the story is on YouTube, you can watch it. Assisted dying, I forgot the title now of that video, but something about, you will find it eventually, you know, if you look up videos on assisted dying and euthanasia. There was this girl about 21, She looked like she would be hired by Calvin Klein or Chanel anytime. She looks exactly, maybe she even was a supermodel. She looked like a supermodel, tall and very elegant, face, body, everything. But I know what was going on with her. She had a very boyish body, which is very much looked for in the fashion industry. They're looking for women like this. They're looking for boyish body women with narrow hips and like A size or no breasts and a kind of boyish, starved faces. They're looking for those. They are. She also has the eyebrows very much like I do, strong eyebrows with this specific boyish type of cut and all of this. And her face was very, very, very masculine, kind of boyish masculine, and not feminine, not what men want. So she was probably very alone, and she was probably straight. So that's what it looks like to me. She had a group of girls as friends, and they were all shorter and chubbier and more curvy and more feminine faces, and they all had their boyfriends and she didn't, and she just could not find anyone, couldn't relate, and the men were not interested, and I see this entire story. It is incredibly tragic. But the fashion designers would have loved to have her as a model. I would have told her that, but I don't know. I don't know whether she has tried this or not, but maybe she didn't want to do this. I don't know. But she suffered her whole life from excruciating depression, probably because of this, because of not looking attractive in this way to the men, to the boys. So, and mother issues, of course, absolutely. When the mother, I saw the mother also, so also full of pain. So, but when the mother is there for the infant, for her infant, really there, you don't leave that child unattended for any second. Okay? And neither your animal. Very important, people need to know this. Animals, they stay infants their entire lives. Okay, if you get an animal, the animal at age 8 or 9 is still an infant. Okay, you cannot leave the animal alone. That's why I suffer so much when I see animals waiting, dogs waiting in the cars, because they're infants and they sit there and they are terrified and worried. Why is she leaving? When is she coming back? That's on their minds the whole time. Okay, like a baby, like a human baby. Okay? So in the same way, so you don't leave infants, in particular newborn animals or newborn humans. You don't leave them alone. You don't leave them alone for a minute. You don't get out of the room, not even for a minute. You have to have that infant on your chest at all times. Okay, that's so incredibly important. They need to know this. They need to also know that they can't have a baby with a man who's whore. Okay? With a man who whores around and doesn't take responsibility. You can't do this. If you want that kind of relationship, just don't procreate with those guys. Okay? Please, because the baby should have a father, the baby should have a whole family, the baby should also have the grandparents. The baby needs a whole safe group to hold him at all times. Okay, so if you happen to need to go somewhere, at least the baby can be put on the chest of the father or the grandfather or the grandmother. Okay, it has to be on the chest or on the back. Very important. They have to feel you. They have to feel this powerhouse of a body that you are. They need to feel your heartbeat. Okay? Very, very important. There was an injured squirrel one time in LA, and I picked that squirrel up. The squirrel was terrified. I don't know what happened, but I picked that, and there was a young squirrel, like almost a baby, about like this big, a handful. So I put him on my chest, and I held him there with a sweater over him. And it was the most touching thing. The squirrel's heartbeat started to slow down, and he started to rest. He put his head on my chest like this, on the side like this. And he started to fall asleep, started to take a nap. He was very exhausted. I don't know what gender, but the baby was very exhausted, and I held him for several hours, and then I put him into a cage somewhere, or some kind of enclosure that we built. And then what happened is I wasn't looking, and our dogs, that's not their fault. They get excited when they see a small animal. It's genetically built into them. They get very excited. It's like a toy, you know. So, oh, there's a little animal. I wanna hold that little animal in her mouth, you know, with the teeth. But she doesn't know better. So, the little animal got terrified, and I wasn't there, and she got a hold of the squirrel, and I guess she must have grabbed him too hard or something. I don't think she wanted to kill him. She just wanted to hold on to the squirrel like a toy, sort of. It's an instinct. So, and she wanted to play with him, and that's what she wanted to do. But she grabbed too hard. Of course, Samantha was a Great Dane mix, and and then the squirrel didn't make it that evening. The squirrel died in that enclosure because, I guess, already injured before that. That's why he came to us, and then Samantha probably grabbed and might have injured him internally. It was awful. But it was very interesting to see for me when I held that squirrel on my chest for several hours, how he calmed down. Even though I'm a complete stranger and I'm huge, and this little baby squirrel doesn't know who I am, what kind of animal I am. But just the touch, this calm touch, the love energy of it, every animal perceives that. Every animal knows after a while, tunes into this and understands that love energy, that you mean well, that you are there for him, that you're protecting him, and he can hear your heartbeat. And the touch is so infinitely vital and important. Okay, that can save every animal baby's life. That loving touch and embrace, and the protective holding on the chest is so infinitely important. So this is a message for the whole world. I want people to listen to this. Very, very infinitely important. So I want to tell, this is why I want to change every institution out there towards this love. But I encounter resistance because of people's egos, because of their emotional pain. They're attaching themselves to their enclave dungeons because that's the only thing they know. They feel safe there. So they'll be in resistance against anything new, even if the message is love. They'll be in resistance to it. Some people even cling to violence in order to feel safe. It's true. I see this in chat rooms. People cling to violence. They don't want love. They find love scary because love actually opens up the old wound. But that's what needs to happen in order for people to heal. That old wound has to open up. The sky is amazing. Look at that. It's the blue god. Blue god looking at us. It's amazing. It's like a portal to the infinite. Sun shining over into onto the windowsill of the portal portal cloud. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So I always see formations and patterns in the sky all the time, and in any kind of pattern. From the specific angle that I'm looking at something, at a formation, whether it's a blanket or a rug or a brush, trees, formations of their leaves, and there are whole paintings hidden in so-called random patterns, but it's not random because nothing is random. Okay, everything is there. I don't want to really call it purposefully, because then it has this, then people get the idea that there's an intelligent design or something, because there's no intelligent design. Not in that sense. Okay, it's different. It's completely different. It's completely different to the way we think and to the way our brains work. Jiddu Krishnamurti calls it the nameless. That is probably what people think is what they call God. It is the blue God. I call it the blue God. The infinite is the infinite is constant pattern formations and shifting and moving and becoming and evolving and changing and I don't know, becoming and building and creating. A constant creation process is going on. You see it in the sky. It's never still. It's a constant evolving process that's happening, and that is what life is also. Our lives, we don't stay like 30. We don't. It's a constant movement and shifting. There is the papa dog. Yes, there is my papa dog. Yes, papa dog, come to me, baby. Come, my love. Come, my beautiful. Come, my beautiful baby. Yes. Come, my love. Come, my gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous papa dog. Yes. Come, my love. Come to me. My beauty. Yes. This is the most beautiful living being I have ever seen. Right after the blue god, Kenny. Kenny was the blue god in dog form, and Papa Dog is the orange god in dog form. Yes, that's what he is. He's the orange god. An amazing living being, pure art. Living art is that. Yes, that gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous man. Yeah, he is the joy of my life. Yes, Papa Dog, you are the joy of my life. And I love you more than anything in the entire eternal universe. Yes, yes, Papa Dog. That is the truth. Yes, you are infinitely gorgeous and huge. And powerful. Papa Dog is an infinitely powerful crystal cola healer. That's what I call him. So he's my crystal cola healer. Infinitely powerful crystal cola healer. And he knows how to heal himself because we use love. That is our foundation. Oh boy, that's a fighter jet. That is all sad, and we don't know what the future holds. A fighter jet can come and bomb us. I don't know. We don't know what the future will hold. I don't know what's going to happen in 1 hour from now. And it can put us at edge, and it can make us feel really bad. But if we have love in our lives, it doesn't even matter what happens, really. I mean, if we have love in our lives, and we live our lives in love, for love and with love, and immersed in love, giving love, and hopefully receiving love back too, but mainly the most important thing is that we live love, that we are examples of love. And that's wonderful. It feels wonderful to give, even if you don't get anything back. It feels wonderful to give. So, but we have to make priorities, very important. And we have to, of course, we have to estimate the situation. We have to see what's going on. We have to know what the consequences are of our actions. We need to know that people might misunderstand us and all of these things. So that's why it is important to structure one's life well and to organize one's life and to plan ahead and to make plans and to make something, to create something, and to know what this might do. And then beyond that, also test things. You can test it. We can go over to someone and say, "My name is Nikki. I just wanted to give you my card. Maybe you want to talk sometime." If nothing comes out of it, if they say, "Go to hell," or whatever, then it's okay. You tried it. It's a matter of trying. I could have tried with going over to the lady, but I didn't want to leave the Papa Dog. So I don't even want to leave the Papa Dog unattended in the car for 1 minute. So if someone comes over to the van and talks to us when we sit there together, that's okay, but I'm not going anywhere. So Paul has to always come back, and then I go shopping. But, so we have to make priorities in that sense. But we also have to take the courage sometimes and go over to someone else and introduce ourselves and say, "Hey, if you want to talk sometime, we can talk." I don't have to reveal to a person that I see them. I see exactly their pain and everything. Because that will just scare them. It's like shining a big flashlight onto someone. And that's very scary. Most people don't want to be seen. They feel very uncomfortable when someone sees them. I do this on Facebook sometimes. I tell people. Some people want to know something about their lives. They think, "Oh, he's a psychic. That person can tell me." I did it under my husband's name, so they thought I was a man. And then I got another channel now. So, and people want to know what's going on. And when I tell them a little bit more about their lives and about their avoidance and their avoidance tactics and all of these things, then they hurry up and leave, because that's scary, because they don't want someone to actually see them. They want to know the future, but they don't want to be seen. They don't want the nitty-gritty to be seen. But that's what this is all about. So your future is built on the nitty-gritty. How you create your life today is what you're gonna make in the future. So if I tell someone that they're attracted to the wrong man, then they're not gonna want to hear this. There's the blue god again. Oh, this is so amazing. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that, the blue god. Oh, the blue god with a loving eye, looking at us with a loving eye. This is so beautiful, beautiful. How the sky shows me its paintings. It is so amazing. I'm amazed. Beautiful, like my artwork showing itself in the sky, and also earlier in the wallpaper. There was my blue god in the wallpaper suddenly as well. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna have to paint it that way, exactly like that. Like in that wallpaper formation. That's nice. That's very lovely. Okay, so I'm gonna conclude the video now. It's gonna be turning off at some point. I want to say that I want to create a group of people. I want to get good, kind-hearted people together, so that we can create something together, something that works, something that will bring the old ladies in that are suicidal and tell them, you can come to us and we can eat cake together and we can talk to each other. We can share our problems with each other. We can complain together. We can cry on each other's shoulders. And we can make art together. We can make something together. And we can create something that makes us look forward to getting up in the morning or in the afternoon, whenever you get up. The sky is beautiful. And you have a reason to look forward to something. I look forward to going to our therapy center, whatever we create, That would be amazing, to have something to look forward to, something to do. It's what Elvis Presley said. You need someone to love, something to do, and something to look forward to every day. And that's really the key. It's very true, very true. We need to have things to look forward to. I have to have a reason to get up and get dressed and make yourself look good and look forward to. So I only have this, like, in order for me to go hiking, I would have to think about the chocolate that I'm gonna buy at the end of the day. So in order to get myself even out of the house. That's not good. That's a state of depression and pain. Yeah, that's very painful. So, but if we had a group, we can help each other, That would be really, really amazing, because things are not going to get easier at old age. It's not going to get easier. It's going to get harder and harder and harder. And I want to create a group where we can help each other, and I want to create a political party where we can fight for, we can introduce euthanasia to the world, and we can say, we need to abolish religion, we need to get euthanasia, we need to give people that chance, we need to give people this safe option, safe death, not an agonizing